Two. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Perspectives Podcast. My name is John Alfred. We are so glad that you decided to join us. It is May 24th already, almost halfway through with 2018. Tonight, we are joined by the Whitner boys, but Swerve, it's Braxton and his dad, Chase. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
I'm doing good.
We're here. We
Yeah.
show up, John. You asked me to be here. I'm here.
We're here. Yeah. So let's start off tonight with our best thing of the week. Looking back on the previous week, what's the one thing that stands out to you as the best thing? I think, Braxton, why don't you start us off, because I know what yours is going to be. It's like a great time of year for all kids.
I'm out of school, so
Also, I miss those days of being a student. Long gone.
Yeah, long time ago.
Mhm.
You don't think about it then. He's like, my life would be better when I'm older, but now it's like you revert back. My best thing of the week, John, would probably be, let me think. Houston beat
Warriors.
the Warriors. So I was kind of happy about that.
Shocker.
Yeah, it was a shocker. Very big. So now they're playing tonight, so I'm kind of, I'm a little preoccupied with that. But I'm here, babe, and I'm ready to go.
Well, explain something to me about NBA playoff basketball. Why is it that you go to somebody else's arena and you get your eyes beat out, and then you go back to your arena and you beat their eyes out? It's the
I don't
same.
know.
I think you got fans cheering for you and it's not getting in your head.
These are grown men.
I know, right? They do this every day.
Yep.
I don't understand it either. I mean, that's what you get paid to do, is to shoot. That's all you do all day, every day. So, I mean, I don't get it, but, it's weird.
Well, today, my best thing of the week, kind of off the beaten path, but I did some yard work today. And
Okay.
it felt so gratifying to see this stuff done. I'm usually not a yard work type of guy. I'll cut the grass, weed eat, and I'm done. But did a little bit extra, and it was an enjoyable experience. So let's get right into it, gentlemen. Second segment of the show is about Raw and SmackDown recap. Let's start off with the Roman Reigns introduction, Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle. Eventually, we have Kevin Owens come out there. Kevin Owens comes out there. And we also had Jinder Mahal get involved in this as well. So your thoughts right out of the gate about how all this went down. A small mini recap. We had Kurt Angle come out to try to announce matches. Stephanie McMahon comes out and emasculates him, which makes – and Braxton, that just means that she treated him so wrong that he didn't feel like a man. And Roman Reigns came out and got to say whatever he wanted to in the tone he wanted to say it. Kevin Owens comes out and tries to get Roman Reigns cheered, but they weren't having any of that.
I know. He tried it, didn't he?
I like
Now,
Roman.
Boo. Ooh, yeah.
That's a big
You think he was actually telling the truth when he said that he likes Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I think they all like each other. It ain't hurt his pocket.
It's
Who
Kevin.
cares? Well, Brax, what'd you say?
If you're going to say something, say it.
I was going to say something.
All right. He punked out.
What was that? What was I supposed to say?
He said that he's Kevin Owens. What about Kevin Owens?
He don't ever like anybody except for Sami Zayn.
Or himself.
I didn't supposed to say something.
That's a good point.
Yep. So your thoughts on how all this went down? We had a Seth Rollins who came out to save, quote unquote, save Roman Reigns. Rollins still getting that pop, loud pop. What do y'all think about it?
I was kind of like curious to see how that was going to end up, and even Roman kind of got cheered at the end of the match. Like when he was coming up the ramp to leave, he was getting some high fives, and I'm like, normally nobody wants to high five him. So I think they're using Seth Rollins to get him over.
Think will happen.
Will it work?
It never lasts. They brought the Shield back together, and as soon as the Shield disbanded, he was back to getting booed. What do you think,
Well,
Max?
I don't think the Shield wasn't really the full Shield. Roman Reigns was still by himself, but until when Dean Ambrose got hurt, I mean, the Shield just faded
Yeah,
away.
it was just Rollins and Dean Ambrose, really. I mean, they kind of brought him back for a little bit, but then he kind of went on his own because they were trying to push Roman Reigns. But I don't know. I think they might try to use Seth Rollins and him. I think they might try to keep them together for a little bit to try to get him some push.
Well, looking back, what they did was they brought all three of them back together again, and then they had that sickness that hit the WWE.
Yeah.
Reigns got sick. Bray Wyatt got sick. Several of them wound up having to miss a lot of time. Then they had the pay-per-view where Kurt Angle filled in for Roman Reigns. And then it kind of went downhill after Roman Reigns came back. It's like, well, all that's past, and Seth and, like you said, Seth and Ambrose stuck together, and so. These kind of, let's get somebody in here to rub off somebody else to get them cheered at never last. The fans have made up their mind.
Yeah.
There's no going back. His promos are horrible. Even if he didn't have booze, he sounded so awful Monday night, in my opinion, the way he was talking back to Stephanie McMahon, just his delivery.
It seemed like he was out of it a little bit. Like he was kind of just like going through the motion.
He's been disconnected. To me, he's been disconnected from what's going on for a long time. He's like, basically, he just said, this is what my life's going to be like. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to make $3 to $4 million a year, and I'm going to have to deal with people booing me because the company won't turn me.
Yep.
I'm a bad guy. All right. Let's move on to that Steph, Ronda, Nia segment. See, I don't think any of this was planned till like a week and a half ago. And they're like, hey, we got this big thing coming up. We're going to be in front of everybody at the NBC, whatever they call them upfronts. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, they're talking about stuff that's going to happen on the channels and big events. And they're like, well, let's go ahead and throw all this together, and then we'll figure it out after we say it's going to happen. And I just don't got any feel for this. Again, Stephanie McMahon comes out and makes everybody else look like they're just puppets and they don't have a brain. They're being manipulated right there. Everybody in the arena can see them being manipulated except for them.
Except for themselves.
And I think Ronda Rousey should be – there's going to be one person that's protected. It should be her. She should be like on a Stone Cold Steve Austin level of awareness of the tricks of the McMahons and be able to rise above them. But in this segment, both her and Nia just bit right off the hook off of what Stephanie McMahon was trying to get them to do, and everybody looks worse for it. What do you guys think?
Now, John, what are you thinking is going to happen? What do you think is playing out? Do you think the chick has not fought anybody at all. I mean, I thought we'd at least get one singles match out of her on Raw or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's going to the Money in the Bank with a title? You tell me she can't lose?
Yep.
They can't let her lose to Nia Jax.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody.
It's a win-win in this situation. There's no win. Even if Nia wins, there's no win. And if Ronda wins, it's kind of like, wow, this chick ain't been there but for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
And she's a champ. I know it's been longer than 2 weeks, but you know what I mean.
If you track it, it's what the WWE does. They put their people in the worst possible situations, and only the greats somehow get out of that. Look at Roman Reigns. He's being a character that doesn't fit him at all. And now you're asking Nia Jax to somehow make this happen with Ronda Rousey. Out of the two, Ronda Rousey's probably the better wrestler, which is shocking. So you get two new people in there that are not new. Nia Jax not new. She's just not good. And new person, it's a recipe for disaster. But that's what they do all the time to all these people. They put them in like the worst possible situations, and it's like sink or swim.
I actually think it's going to be more like the Brock Lesnar and Goldberg fight. Like it's going to be just over, quick. That's what I'm thinking.
But where's the chase in that, man? Not chase, pun, not pun. No, ended there. But like you're trying to reach for something, you're trying to get somewhere, and we're skipping all that. There's no.
I don't know. There's no drama. Exactly. There hasn't been any kind of build up. I don't get it.
What you
I
think?
don't get it. He don't know. He hadn't been watching it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he hadn't been watching.
That's disappointing, Braxton.
How's he?
Yes, I do. We're talking about the Nia Ronda Rousey fight, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight?
It's gonna be. It's like Ronda's only fought one person really, and it wasn't. It was a good match. So, and Ronda did really good. So it might kind of, if she loses to Nia, it'll give more of a storyline. But if she wins, like.
Yeah, I could see them if she does lose.
It makes all the other women wrestlers look like poop.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can see Nia winning is that if Nia wins, and then it makes Ronda like push herself harder because she realizes she's not ready. You know what I mean? She's new to the game.
For me though,
but yeah,
situation. They know when to get out of this. Now, what's going to happen is Stephanie McMahon will interfere, and something will happen. But it's going to be. I don't see a loss coming to Ronda Rousey in any of this.
No.
Okay, folks. Next thing. Braun versus Finn Balor. You guys watch this one?
Yep, I did. I watched every minute of it.
I was about to watch it.
I watched it from the crushed apple.
Yeah, I saw that part. I had to go to bed.
And Braxton was like, "Dad, can you do that?" I'm like, yeah, I can do that."
Mm-hmm. All right, tell us about it, because what I did, I wound up fast forwarding through this because I didn't want either of these guys to be where they were in this episode, where they were doing something to do it.
Did you see the promo?
I know about the Apple thing and about how you two are going to face off against each other.
Yeah, well, they came in there asking for a rematch, and then Stephanie said, "Y'all are actually going to be competitors in a couple weeks. Y'all aren't a tag team, so why are you trying to be a team to fight Dolph?" And so she puts them together to fight each other. And it was actually, surprisingly, a really good match. Like at the beginning, of course, Braun was beating him down, but then Finn came back and made it a really good match. I was surprised at how long the match was, and how good it was. I thought it was a really good match.
Now, I did see the zigzag on the outside. I thought that was pretty cool, where Braun's doing his bulldoze.
Yeah.
But the only thing I didn't like about that, one of the things I didn't like about that promo is at the end of it, you had Finn Balor look like this.
Yeah, like close up on him.
Yeah, that was weird, bizarre.
Yeah, it was kind of odd, but I thought it was really good. Especially Braun was, hollering at the crowd about his, him smiling because Stephanie McMahon said something about his smile, and I thought it was really good. Braun's always, to me, he does really good with the crowd. Yeah. They love him.
Braxton, let me ask you this question about Braun Strowman. Which Braun do you prefer? Do you prefer the one that's a little bit funny, or do you prefer that one that's kind of like a monster and don't get in his way? Even if you're a good guy or a bad guy, you want to try to stay away from him. Which one of those do you prefer as a young man, young fan?
I like the funny one, but when it comes to fighting, the mean monster one is better.
Yeah. So he's happy now.
Because the mean monster one would throw people around. And he threw one dude in a trash can.
I mean, I think now, John, it's tough because back whenever he destroyed Roman Reigns, whenever they were doing their thing with the ambulances and all that, that was awesome. And that brought in the monster part of it. But now he's starting to bring, I don't know if it's WWE doing it or if it's Braun wanting to be more likable to where you hit more an age demographic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like the Cena route. Because I mean, if you're that mean or that nasty, I don't know how many kids are actually going to, you know what I mean? Younger kids are going to pull towards him, or if they'll be afraid of him. So that might be what they're trying to do is hit more age demographic.
Yeah.
I think he's all around. I enjoy everything he does, really.
I like for the guys to stay away from comedy because usually the main guys at the top late.
That's true.
Don't do it. You have to be somebody from the past that's still around to get away with that, like a Jericho. But usually at the top. But
that's true. But like you got your guy, like you're saying, you have your certain guys that do that, like your New Day, your Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Those people do the comedy part. I mean, him crushing the apple though? Is that him comedy or is that him trying to be
Show off.
that's cool. I like that.
I mean, I was like, hey, dude, just crushed that. And, like, just straight up stared him down. I thought it was really cool. I liked all of it. Yeah. Oh, man.
The things they do. All right, let's move on to, unless y'all have anything else from Raw that you guys want to talk about before we move on to.
I still want to talk about Dolph looking gay with McIntyre. It's ridiculous, dude. The faces he's making when he's standing beside him.
They're both doing things that make me really uncomfortable, like
oh man, I'm like, wow.
Quiet, and their movements are really, really slow, and I don't know.
It's so weird, dude. That's my only other thing with Raw is that I don't know. It's just weird.
I'll give him this. Drew McIntyre looks like he goes home and he has really thought about what he wants to do. Because during the Dolph Ziggler Chad Gable match, I would just keep an eye on him, and it looked like everything had a purpose behind it. He would slowly put his hand on the rope. He'd look down and look up. So he's going for something. I'll give him that. But he's taking it away.
I'm thinking for a turn. Eventually, he's going to turn on Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they're probably leading it up. They're trying to do like a Dolph having a boy crush kind of like thing on him, like that's his best buddy, and kind of like they did with
DX.
Well, DX / Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, or Jericho and Kevin Owens, and then turn on him. But
if you think about what they're complaining about that the locker room is acting like, that's pretty much Dolph Ziggler. Guys just show up and they clock in, they clock out, and they really don't put in any effort. That's kind of Dolph. He's been that way for like 6 or 7 years, not really pushing the envelope, kind of doing the same thing, never reinventing himself. So I think you're right. It's going to turn out to be a good story because he's going to be like, you're the worst one of them all.
That would be awesome.
Yep. Okay, so I want to talk about one of our favorite people in the world, Carmella.
Yep.
Whatever she lacks in the ring, which I think she has the capability of covering up a lot of that because of her activity in the ring.
She's getting better.
There's some people watch their match and I'm like, I hate this. I want to turn it off or I want to fast forward it. She does things in the match that I really like. But besides that, I think her charisma, the character she's created, love it. And this promo she had Tuesday night, hit it out of the park like she has been. What do y'all think?
Now, I just want to bring this up, but I think I got hated on whenever we did the draft, and I picked Carmella. I think I got some mad hate for that pick, even from my own brother, who was on my team.
It's time.
Was mad at me.
It was timing. She's not a top 5 pick. I think you went.
When I draft for the future.
Yeah. Okay.
And I seen it, but
I think
her promos.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm putting her promos probably, man, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't know too many people that cut. Even Seth Rollins, as hot as he is, I still rather watch her promos.
He can't touch her. And the beautiful thing about hers, like as a progression of when we're talking about how the women have made a big difference, women would come out there and their voice would be crackly, and they'd be trying to show toughness. You just can't do it. That's one thing about Sasha Banks is her delivery of a promo is still lacking. It's not very convincing like the tone she Carmella. She's got it all.
She's got that Ric Flair to where you believe that's her. That she's like, you know what I mean? Like Enzo was kind of like that, where you believe that's how he lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, it ain't like he's just doing it to do it. And she's the same way. That's how she lives her life. Is the way she did her promo.
She's awesome at it. I'm glad that people in the back didn't give up on her because you could have easily given up on her. Mm-hmm. They did that right. I got to give them credit for that one. All right, let's see here. Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy with Samoa Joe on commentary.
I didn't get the Samoa Joe. I'm guessing they're bringing him in there because Big Cass is done. So I'm guessing they have to have a bad guy for Daniel Bryan.
I don't know what's going on. I've heard two different stories. I heard that he was just playing up the injury, and I've heard that he really has an ACL tear, and it's got to be somewhere in the middle because if you really are hurt, then you wouldn't be wrestling matches. He's been doing that all over Europe. Weird. I don't know.
You think he's doing it as like to throw Daniel Bryan off to where Daniel Bryan thinks he's gone and then he comes in but I don't know why they would use Samoa Joe there the other night to do that.
I think it's the middle of it's like they're going to punish Big Cass, but they also wanted to work out a story here, or they got to the point to where let's do something different. He may be injured, I don't know, but I know what's going to happen next week. We're going to have a very good match between Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan that's going to be interrupted by Big Cass.
Okay.
Samoa Joe will go on to win. And if Big Cass doesn't do that, that means he's injured and he's done. I don't see him coming back from that. But if we see him, that means that Money in the Bank, it'll be Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Now, I mean, I'm fine.
Speaking of promos, did you catch the Hardy promo?
What was that all about?
Dude must have snorted a line before he came out of that room.
Hold on, Dasha. All right, let me do this promo.
Oh my gosh!
No.
It was crazy.
Vortex firing.
My equilibrium balance is off. Oh man, I'm just woo! It was weird, dude. Yeah. But it was a good match. I thought it was a good match, though.
I don't know.
He's always going to put on good matches.
Yeah. I don't know if you were here the other time we talked about this, but like Jeff Hardy is the kind of guy that sometimes you watch him and you wonder why he's out there, but then there's other times you watch him and you're like, he's top 5 in the world. Yep. He is so awesome in the ring, and it's the little things that he does that sometimes you're like, is he really hurt? No, he's just an awesome seller.
Yep.
Really good at pulling things off. And I really enjoyed that match.
So if y'all haven't seen the promo, go watch it.
Yes. It's go to WWE.com or the YouTube page. You'll find it there and it will blow you away.
What?
I still I was listening to it and I was trying to follow his train of thought and nope.
Couldn't. There was no rhyme to anything he was saying. It was so weird.
Okay, AJ. My bad. I don't want to get to that one yet. Lana. I want to make a big deal about this because I enjoyed this. Did you see Lana from start to finish on SmackDown? Yes. Okay. Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you the people out there what happened, and then I'm going to give you my idea why this was one of my favorite things. I should have said this was my favorite thing because it really was. So throughout the years, Lana and Rusev have been together. And they have both been over or supported by the fans. And sometimes when Rusev's out there, they'll chant, "Where's Lana?" And it's almost like, they're both liked by the fans. Sometimes they don't. It pulls them apart because they're not cheering for Rusev, they're cheering for Lana, or they're not cheering anyway. So I love what they did. They had Aiden English come out. They had him hype up just
Lana.
Just Lana. Rusev wasn't even there. They said he was in Bulgaria. I like that fact too. He's not out there to take any spotlight away from Lana, and Lana got her own thing.
Yep.
In the day, she got all the attention, and she's bad in the ring. They know this, so let's give her the least amount that she can do, and still, hopefully, look good. I enjoyed all of it, including Aiden's timing of I'm going to give them a little bit of Lana stuff at the beginning, but once I get down to the edge of the ring, I'm going to pull out the Lana Day sign, and I'm going to look them even more. I don't start off with that. I do a little bit at the beginning, and now I got them all in the palm of my hand, and they're cheering for Lana Day. What do you think, Chase?
Yep. I thought it was really – I think it's really good. I thought Aiden English is the one that's making this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Lana.
Yep.
It's not Rusev really. Rusev is I don't think Aiden English gets enough credit for building up both of them really. I mean, Rusev, he did have a good following, but he was kind of starting to get kind of beat down and was like washed up. He's about to be with Ryback out there selling hamburgers.
Yep.
And then Aiden English steps in, gets him kind of fired up, I guess. The Lana thing, even though she's really bad wrestler, I say really bad. Is she as bad as Nia?
No.
She can't hurt anybody because she don't know what she's doing. So everything looks bad, but she's
exactly. I don't say she's as bad then because she can't hurt anybody. Mm-hmm. She's not doing any moves. So she looks better.
Yeah.
But
her kick looked good. That little kick she did right before she did her finisher.
Yep. And the finisher was actually really good. She did a good job, a good X-Pac impersonation. I thought that was really good. I really hope that they give Rusev and her Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. I really do. I really am pulling for it. I don't see how she can pull it off. I can see him pulling it off, but I don't see her pulling it off.
That would be so awesome. You talk about a shocker of him coming out there one time. AJ's out there or whoever's out there. They just beat somebody.
Yep.
Rutska, Utria, or whatever.
What?
Yep. That would be, I'm telling you, it'd be awesome.
How about the
change it up a little bit?
Song, Braxton. Rusev.
What's that mean?
All right. So let's move on to our AJ Shinsuke discussion here. I love what they're doing, Shinsuke. We know the man has limited English, and he has been reborn with this heel gimmick, and I think he took it up a notch here. Yep. Now, I'm not lying. I mean, let's be honest. It's very hard to understand him, just like it would be if somebody asked us to go over to Japan and say, hey, here's a promo that we need you to say to everybody. And you're like, it'd be all bad. It'd be all bad, and people talk bad about yours. You're talking in Japanese too. But it's a weird thing because he talks the way he does. It forces you to listen a little bit more to what he's saying, and I think it captivates you a little more because you're trying to make sure that you understand everything that he's saying, and all of it was good.
Well, it's like a movie, John. When you watch a movie and a bad guy, you tend to focus in more on the bad guy. Mm-hmm. So for him being the bad heel and having this English thing, it makes you know what I mean? It draws you in even more. So I think they're doing a really good job with making him a heel. I didn't think it would go over as well as it has, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Braxton, you got the two different versions of Shinsuke here. Which one do you, as a younger fan, I don't want to say like, because obviously you're going to like the good guys. That's what you should like. But I'm saying which more, how can I say this, Chase? Which one are you entertained by more? Shinsuke the good guy or Shinsuke the bad guy?
Bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think, man. Bad guys, heels are what people are supposed to be. What, I don't know. I mean, you always need a bad guy for the good guy to overcome.
Yep.
So if you don't have a really good bad guy, then
Yeah.
there's no point in the story really.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically every story written. You got a good and you got a evil and you got good.
I think
So-
AJ feeds off of him really well. One of my favorite lines that Shinsuke said was, "I joke because I have the upper hand. You joke because you're afraid." Whoever wrote that, that's gold. That's
Yep.
a perfect line for him. And one thing AJ said that I really liked was after Shinsuke kept going on and on about how he had the upper hand and that AJ, and then AJ said, "Well, it looks like this is going to be my last match ever. So what kind of stipulation are we going to have?" It's kind of like that flippant attitude about it.
Yeah.
I think they both played off each other well here. Now, a last man standing match. Everybody that I've talked to on any or listened to on any podcast talking about how there's still the dilemma of what if both of them can't answer.
Yep.
What if both of them can't answer. But I swear I read a rule that said there has to be a winner. In a last man standing match,
Is that true, Braxton?
to be a winner.
I think
I thought it was the worst stipulation they could have picked.
Every stipulation hasn't fixed the problem that it should have of the previous match.
Yep.
Like, let's say there's outside interference in a match and it didn't go over well. What do? You put a cage over the sucker.
Yep.
With each one of these, the stipulation didn't fix whatever the problem was. And if they count both of these guys out the last man standing match, then it'll be just like the previous matches that didn't solve the problems.
I will be extremely ticked if we get another pay-per-view of them two not finishing the match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen a match finished on SmackDown because Shinsuke beat him.
Explain that to me. Ugh.
I don't get it. I'm like, why did you do that in the pay-per-view?
Yeah, why don't you just give the belt to Shinsuke now because he beat?
Yes. And so that's what the stipulation didn't make any sense to me. Dude, I didn't get it, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. I think it'll be a good match. I think it's time. Put the belt on Shinsuke. And AJ's had that belt for a long time. As a good guy, you need to have that journey too. You need to have that feeling of, I have to get back what was taken from me. And that'll just open the door for him to have some good promos too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this WWE deal. Nothing's been published by WWE, so we're just talking about speculation. Everybody's saying it, and 3 or 4 different sources have now come out and have said it. So SmackDown will be moving to Fox, the main TV channel. It'll be on Fridays, 2 hours, possibly 3 hours. Raw looks like it's going to stay on Monday nights on USA in the same time frame. There's a lot of things to kind of pull apart here and look at, but I want to look at a few things. Let's start with us. Selfishly, let's start with us as the viewers. Okay?
Yep. Which we are.
Yep. We're just like all the other people out there. We're on different levels of how much we like watching this, but we still have the same pie that everybody else has. Actually, your pie may be smaller than my pie because I don't have a whole lot going on. And like I was telling you guys, it's one thing to say, hey, honey, it's Tuesday night and wrestling's on and I'm going to watch it.
It's middle of the week. You ain't got a lot going on.
Yeah. Hey, honey, it's Friday. I know you just got off of work and you want to go do something, but how about we sit right here and watch this show that you hate?
Yep. When you texted that was awesome the other night. I thought the exact same thing. I can't even get to watch on Tuesday nights. And then are you talking about a Friday?
It ain't going to happen.
No.
It's going to be DVR'd, and maybe if she passes out at like 10:30, 11, I'll sneak back in there and watch it like I'm doing something wrong. But
I don't understand why they did it on a Friday night.
Don't either.
There's too much to compete with. I mean, especially going forward when you talk about football season. It will get lost.
Yeah. Well, they said they're gonna promote it on baseball. They'll promote it. Whatever Fox is doing, like when Joe Buck's doing the Patriots game or whoever, and it's like this Friday, blah blah blah. So
Yep.
it's not the best night of the week for SmackDown, but I would not have turned that money away. 5 years, $1 billion, $200 million a year. So, like we talked about on the text, they're getting just for SmackDown the same money they were getting for SmackDown and Raw combined. So it's
Wow.
going to be insane whatever they get for Raw.
So what does that tell you Raw's getting from USA?
Yeah, Raw, USA couldn't afford to keep both of them, as they said. So I'm thinking it's going to be. Somebody said was talking about it being like $400 million. We'll see, but I know that WWE got more money. It's going to get more money than UFC. And if you would have told me that 2 years ago, I'd say that you were insane and you didn't know anything. Yep. I didn't see this kind of appeal going on like a main channel. So we'll see.
SmackDown. I want to see what they do with it, though, John. If they do what we talked about and really let the Fox people make storylines to where it's more, I don't know, what's the word? You know when you watch a show weekly.
It makes more sense. It's logical.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you watch CSI or any kind of show that you would watch on a week-to-week basis, if they put storylines in good enough to do that, what they could do with this could change. Now, then I might have to start, sneaking in on a Friday night if they really make it worth watching.
Yeah. So there's two different ways of looking at this. You can say Fox looked at what WWE was doing and said, we want that. And if that's what Fox said, we're going to have the same thing we've always had. Well, what if Fox said, we're going to give you this money, but you're going to have to –
it's our product.
Yeah, you're going to have to do more. It's going to have to make sense. I don't want you to have three guys out there in drag pretending to be Bobby Lashley's sister. When we're on a major TV channel, because there's too many people that can be offended by that, including most wrestling fans who hated it. I'm offended by it because it was horrible. It sucked. And I had to watch it. That's the kind of thing somebody walks in the room and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Charity came in there and was like, what is that? I'm like, it's a long story, Bobby Lashley. It's Donatello. I don't know.
That's gonna have that stuff right there. In my opinion, it's gonna have to go away. You're gonna have to have a share. You can have humor, and they do humor pretty good. But those kind of things, out the door. You can't do them anymore. So what about the talent? Do you think that because of this big deal being on Fox and having to keep eyeballs on it and it being more important than ever, are we going to see the rosters come back together? Are we going to see some of the big main eventers from Raw move over? How do you think the talent's going to be affected by this?
I think they will have to do a pretty even split probably to even it out. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're talking about on a major network. You can't just have scrubs on the SmackDown, which it usually has been. But I think they'll have to even it out a little better. Makes me curious what Brock's going to do.
Well, that's why they kept him around, I think, because they wanted to say, "Hey, here's a contract until we figure out things." And
you know what I mean, if he's on, you're talking about this is national TV. This ain't cable.
Yep. And it's worldwide. You got all this money. Hey, Brock, we want to see you once a month. Now you can afford it.
Now you talk about a storyline that you can do with it.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what kind of talent. I mean, you got to bring somebody that's going to put butts in the seats.
Yep, cheeks in the seats. You're right. All right, let's move on to our match of the week. Chase, what, in your opinion, was the match of the week, the one that everybody has to watch?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think I know mine.
What's yours?
The Finn Balor.
That was mine. So he stole mine.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Is that why you stole it?
No.
Have you even seen it?
No. I just knew it was good.
It was a good match, man. I actually, besides that, all right, I'll say that is my male match. My female match, which is going to surprise you, John, was the Money in the Bank qualifying match with Naomi and
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, what was the other chick's name? The girl that can't talk really good, country girl.
Sarah Logan.
Yep. That was a good match, dude. Sarah Logan is good.
Logan's on Raw now. On SmackDown, you had.
I thought it was her and Naomi fighting.
No, it was Sonya Deville. He's got Sonya Deville and that Liv Morgan girl on there. They're trying to separate them. Sonya Deville. I'll agree with that match. I love Sonya Deville. She's going to be really, really good. She's not quite there yet. Like what she should be doing, how she should be reacting to things. But man, that little spear she did, and those.
Oh man, I thought she broke her in half.
And she's good at punches too. She doesn't do that typical stomp punch. She actually looks like she's actually punching you, which I really enjoy. So I like that match too. I would say just Seth Rollins at the beginning of the show. Everybody else was kind of just out there, but man, that crowd is in love with Seth Rollins right now.
I love him right now. He did better too, John, with his through the rope jumps.
Yep. I think he took that seminar, the Ember Moon seminar, and got that extra PowerPoint in that book so he could look over, do homework.
He did way better with them.
Yep. When he did that, I thought about talking to you guys about that, how I was improved, and I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so how about next we have our winners and we have our losers of the week, people that succeeded or failed. So
you want to go first?
No.
My winner of the week, who's climbing my board really high, John, and that's Jinder.
Oh.
I like Jinder. I like him a lot. I like his delivery, his wrestling. I don't know. It's just I like every time he's on. I know he's coming up. I want to watch that match. What he's gonna do, or what he's gonna say, or just he's kind of like Braun to me now. He's starting to get that cachet about him. If it's the hair, since his hair's kind of grown out a little bit more, the way we talked about previously on another podcast of the way his speech, the way he was talking, it seems a little bit more genuine. So that's my winner of the week. My loser, still Dolph Ziggler. Still old Dolph Ziggler. The gay glances, man. I can't get by it. I cannot get by him standing there with his pants, this pelvic V, with his pants almost falling down, staring up at Drew like he's his boyfriend. It makes no sense to me. I can't get around it, man.
Yeah,
I can't. And Gable surprised me too. That was a good match too. I will say that was a good match.
Gable's good. He's just so small, and that's always going to hold him back. I'm not one of those height guys, but you got to be a certain height. I'll go give Braxton a little bit more time. I'm going to say my winner of the week is Lana. She did about as well as she can do. She's mastered that kick. I fear for her being in the ladder match. I don't know how that's going to go. Hope she doesn't hurt somebody with her not being where she's supposed to be, which is always a danger in these sorts of things. All right, so that's my winner. Let's see. My loser of the week. I had one, but I want to go with somebody different here.
While you're thinking, let me say something about that Lana, what you're talking about with her. My thing is I think she might pull it like a Jericho and kind of take a hit hard early in the match and kind of lay around, and kind of do something like that, not do a whole lot, not take a lot of punishment because she's still, she's for look. I mean, if we want to be honest, then she's more than she is for wrestling.
I think we'll have my.
Let Mr. John get his.
Okay, loser of the week is the New Day because they came on
Oh,
SmackDown, and they had one job. You're supposed to tell us which one of you three are going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And they dilly-dallied and kept joking, and they kept cutting up, and they never told us who they're going to be. And, I think that I just didn't like that. I know sometimes they got to tease you with stuff and you not get what you want, but that was just dumb to sit out there for that amount of time and not have something said about who's going to do it. I didn't like it. So
I thought they ended up with Big E.
I never heard an actual response. They said Big E was going to wrestle Miz that night, but I never heard an actual. This
After
is
that
person. And the little promo screens that show you Money in the Bank. They still have all three of them there. I'll double check on that while Braxton's talking. Go ahead, Braxton.
I don't know my winners yet, but I know my loser. My loser of the week is Kevin Owens.
Mm.
Yeah, so.
Why is he a loser?
Because, he lost to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and then Jinder went over there and beat up Seth and Roman with a chair, and then what did Kevin Owens get from that?
Yeah, I'm about to say, where was he? Where did he disappear to?
Yep.
See, Jinder comes out and uses a chair on the guys, and Kevin Owens is nowhere to be found.
And, wasn't it did Finn Balor come back but still lose that match?
Yeah, he came back and lost against Braun, which he should have lost. You're supposed to lose to him, but it was a good match.
My winner might be Seth.
That's good. That's a good pick.
Good point on Kevin Owens. That's I don't know where he went, but you're right. I think it's just because he didn't have a storyline.
Yeah,
to be emphasized here. But what I thought they could have done is had Kevin Owens beat up Seth Rollins and then them wrestle. But I guess they've already wrestled. On Monday night next week, just to kind of add to it. But anyway, that was a good point about Kevin Owens. And you're right, Seth Rollins. Right now, he's the winner of the last 2 months since that Gauntlet match.
Yep,
He's been on fire. He's been killing it. All right, guys.
Who'd you lose, John?
Thought I said it. I said New Day.
Oh, that's right.
New Day's the loser because they didn't reveal who they were on. Is there
My
anything
bad.
you guys want to talk about from this week of wrestling that we have not covered?
I thought the Miz did good with back and forth with New Day. I thought the match was kind of crappy. I expected something better. What else? I was glad to see Naomi win because I know we talked about they were kind of, dumping on her, but she's back hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about Jimmy and Jay losing? I did not see that coming.
I don't get it.
I did not see that coming at all. These dudes were supposed to be they were the man before Bludgeon Brothers, and now you're losing to Carl and Anderson? I don't know.
And to back up your point here, Usos weren't the man because they were like, let's start having Usos win. Usos were the man because they came out there and they took it. They had matches. They did the promos. And so many times we just see they're like, who do we want to win? How about that person over there? Well, they hadn't done anything. Oh, who cares? Usos put all their junk together.
Yeah.
Character. And now they've been humiliated by the Bludgeon Brothers, and they're getting beat by the Good Brothers, who, let's be honest, really hadn't done anything since.
They're terrible.
Hmm?
They're worse than a Revival.
I agree. And it's not just because the way WWE's treating them. They don't look like a good tag team, in my opinion.
No. They're too clunky.
Yep.
Who?
Bludgeon? Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the Usos. That's a well-oiled unit. And New Day, whoever's in there, they work well together. I don't get that vibe from they're two different styles to jail.
I didn't see them losing. It shocked me.
Yep. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that people have disappeared and they come back, and we want that. If you're watching a TV show, sometimes you don't see everybody every week.
Yeah.
They come back. Oh, yeah. Let's keep going with that storyline. So that's fine. It's got to find that balance.
That's what they're doing too. You know, they got to keep us off balance.
And want to see somebody. I've wanted to see the Usos, and they never got to the point where I was like, "Oh, I'll take them off the screen." But that's the good thing. We want to see them.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a great podcast. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys and talking about what happened this week. If you would like to be on the show, or if you had a comment or suggestion about things we can do better, improvements, something that you like about the show, email us at prowrestlingperspectives@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. But until next time, we will see you guys.
See ya.
F's up.